Hello and welcome to the Crafty Diamond. I am Debbie. If you are new, welcome. If you are not new, welcome back. Today is my weekly WIP Chat where I am going to work on diamond painting and just chit chat with you guys for a little while. Feel free to work on a diamond painting or anything that you want to, or you can simply treat this like you would a podcast and just listen while I chat. I am going to turn you guys around and let's get started. I am going to be working on Under the Influence by Brian Dean Rollison from Distracted by Diamonds, and this is what it looks like. It's a 100 by 55 centimeter, so it is rather large. I am working on this girl here. I haven't gotten very far, but I want to have this completed by the end of the year. So I think that I can do it if I do it the way that I have it scheduled. So we'll see. I did add some crystals to her hair and also to her hat. I'm not sure if I like the hat. I'm going to wait and see after I'm done, and hopefully I will like it because taking crystals off is a pain. I am using for my pen, this is by Lady Lathe, and it was turned by Stacy. It has purple in here. I don't know if you can see that. I am also using for my putty, I am using from Tracy's DP World Gardenia, and I am using Patty Wax for my single placer, and that is from Distracted by Diamonds. I am using a tray from Bijou Bliss. It has a seashell on it. It does come with a stopper. I've taken the stopper off. It also has a magnetic lid, which I really do like. And I think that's about it. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll pick a color. How are you guys doing? Let me know in the comments how you're doing or what are you working on. Are you having a good March so far? March is going to be pretty busy, I think, for my family and I, or especially for me because of work. I have a work event at the end of the month, and it takes a full month pretty much to get all of it done and work with students. So I've started doing that. So that's keeping me pretty busy. We're also doing some training at work. I have to go in a couple of weeks. It's an all-day training where we're doing hands-on with our classes. I'm not sure exactly what that entails, but I guess I'll find out whenever we have to do it, or hopefully they'll give us some information beforehand. I'm having a terrible time seeing. I don't have my light pad on, and I should. I really prefer not to use my light pad whenever I am filming, but sometimes it just cannot be helped, especially in this dark area that I'm in. So let me know all the things. What is everybody working on? Are you going to participate in any events? I am living through you guys on events. I thought long and hard about participating in a couple of the March events, and then just decided, no, I don't need to do that. I need to concentrate on the diamond paintings that I'm working on. I had a couple that could have worked for the events, but decided not to. That way I wouldn't have to worry about posting progress, and I can work on whatever I want to. And just decided it's probably in my best interest not to. Although I do enjoy events, I just need to be a little more careful in trying to get my WIPs completed, the ones that I already have, and the ones that I'm going to be starting soon. So I'm still working on my 15 remaining WIPs. I did a video this past week, and it was on my month in review. So if you have not seen that, check that out. It shows all of my remaining WIPs, and I'm going to be working on several of those in March because April is going to be for the Josephine Wall event, and I'm going to be concentrating on my Josephine Wall painting, which I'm really excited about. There's also another video for that one, and I need you guys to help me decide which of the two that I unboxed should I work on for the event this year. And I'm really surprised because so far the ones that have responded, they are all but one has voted on the larger painting, and I thought they would want to see the first one. It has more color, I think. But I am going to go with whichever one that the majority chooses. I have not put that out there in my Facebook group. I need to do that too. It's kind of a last minute thing that I just knew the one I planned on working on. And then after I opened it, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I love both of these. Now what am I going to do? And then I even thought about working on both of them at one time, but working on two Josephine walls at a time, one is a lot of work. I've never tried two, although to be honest, if I were to work on two diamond paintings of Josephine Wall, I would do one from Mirthful Diamonds, which is the one that I unboxed, and I'd also do one from the one with the diamond art. So I like theirs too. And they both are carrying Josephine Walls. So I don't know if I could do two or not. Let me know about that too. What do you think about doing two Josephine Walls and just rotate? Maybe do a couple sections in one, a couple sections in the other one. It might be fun. And then just not do anything on my other diamond paintings. Or maybe just do a section here, section there on the ones that have a lot of color blocking, because that way I wouldn't get burned out. Let's see, I'm trying to really focus. I wanted to focus on this one section, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to. We didn't do a whole lot this past week, really. We did go out to dinner on Saturday. We went and had Mexican, which the three of us really love. And then on Sunday, Dave and I went over and kept the baby so that Madison and Kyle could go out to eat with their dad for his early birthday dinner, because he is going to be out of town on his birthday. And he asked if I would keep the baby so that he could have dinner with his kids, and then of course Kyle. And so I told him that was fine, and I was going to go over there. And so my husband said, well, I'll go over there with you. So he went over to help me, and we had a lot of fun with Claire. She just turned 4 months, 18 weeks, which is absolutely crazy to me that she is that old. And she's getting to where she's having her own little conversations with us, and we just agree with her, and then she starts laughing like we really know what she's talking about. We have no clue. And of course nobody does either. Let me get another color. I'm gonna go with 20. I don't know if I want to brave and do that one. Let's go with number 7. I'm trying to see what, I'm gonna make sure you guys can see this without any problem that I can see. That's number 43. But we went, picked up some lunch, and then I told Dave, I said, she's probably still gonna be awake, and so go ahead and you eat, and then whenever you're done, if you don't mind watching her, then, you know, I'll eat. So we went and picked up some deli sandwiches, and we got over there, and she was awake, and so I she saw us and she started jabbering and moving her hands, getting all excited. So I went over there and I picked her up and loved on her for a little bit. She's like a little squishmallow, and talked to her, and she had a really, really cute dress on. So of course I had to get a picture of her in her little dress, and she had a little hat on. She looked really cute. Well, then they left and I went to eat. She wasn't fussy or anything, which I thought was kind of funny, that I gave her to Dave, and she always loves sitting in his lap because he's always playing with her and making faces and stuff. Well, he went and got her from me, and then I went to eat, and I could see when I was about to walk away to go to the kitchen, she has this frown that she makes with her bottom lip, and I thought, oh no, she's about to start crying, because that's what she does when she starts to cry. She started wailing. She had tears and all. And I'm like, well, what just happened? And so Dave said, I don't guess she wants to be with me anymore. And I said, no, something had to have just happened, because that's not like her at all. Well, then I looked at him and I said, take your hat off. And he looked at me kind of funny. He loves to wear baseball hats, baseball caps. And so I told him, so you're gonna have to take your hat off. And he looked at me kind of funny. I'm like, take your hat off and everything will be fine. So I was holding Claire. He took his hat off and she started smiling and laughing and cooing. I'm like, that's all it was. She does not like anybody to wear hats. She gets all bent out of shape, discombobulated for some reason if you're wearing a hat. She gets really, really upset. I mean, she had tears. And so he took his hat off and everything was just good, and they played until I ate. And then she started to get fussy right when I was done. And so he started giving her a bottle, and she was kind of playing around with the bottle after a little bit, and she was getting really, really tired. But she was fighting it. We could tell. She didn't want to go to sleep, but she was getting so fussy. And so I went into her bedroom. I rocked her a little bit. And so she got still. She went to sleep for about 30 minutes. By the time that I got her down, I'm going to put her into her crib, she woke up. She was wide awake. So I took her into their living room. And then I'd had her for a while, and so Dave said that he would take her for a few minutes. So he took her, he set her on his lap. She was like facing the TV. She loves to watch Bluey. So I turned Bluey on, thought, well, maybe that'll help. So she got kind of still, and then she was still really tired. So Dave started playing with her legs and moving her legs around and talking to her. Then all of a sudden, it was like she was just a limp noodle. She went sound asleep, and she slept 45 minutes sitting in his lap, sitting straight up. And so I'm like, I'm not going to touch her. She looks comfortable. I don't want to touch her, because if I do, I'm going to wake her up. And so he's like, that's fine. She can sit right here. And so I covered up her legs, and so she slept there for a good 45 minutes. And then she woke up, and so I went and changed her and everything and got her bottle again, because she did not finish it. Well, then she fell asleep again. She never does this. She fell asleep again because I'd played with her on the floor, and we had tummy time. We played books, and we read her books and played with different things and put her in her little jumpy thing. And so we kept her busy. Well, then she went back to sleep. So at that point, we were just kind of sitting and talking and watching a little TV, just us. And then Madison and Kyle and Paige came in. They had been gone for about 3.5 hours. Well, by the time that they came in, Claire had just woken up. And so I'm like, oh, time to go. She was starting to get fussy because she needed to be changed. And she was fussy from just waking up. And so I'm like, we had a great time. So we left her wide awake with them. And then we went back home, and we ended up grilling out for dinner on Saturday. I diamond painted some, and he just did some stuff puttering around the house. So we had kind of a nice weekend. And then I got into a cleaning mood. I enjoy cleaning. It's not like I don't, but I got into a cleaning mood to where I was ready to do some spring cleaning. And I did that all day on Saturday. We kept her on Sunday, and then on Saturday I got up and I'm like, okay, I need a diamond paint, but I also want to do this in the house. And then I started moving furniture out. I was like, what is wrong with me? But when we came in on Sunday from keeping her, the house smelled so good. And I was really glad that I didn't have to do anything else on Sunday. And then I did straighten up my craft room some. I actually even moved my furniture around. I mean, that's how much I had done on Saturday. I'm like, I don't like my furniture in here. Maybe that's why I can't decide how I want my room. So I moved my furniture around. I like it a lot better. And then started getting organized. Got quite a bit of diamond painting done over the weekend. So I was really excited about that. because I really needed to get some done. But we didn't really do anything else. So it's kind of a laid back weekend pretty much. And then we just worked all week, and Dave started sneezing really bad on Tuesday, and then he started clearing his throat, and I thought, oh no, I bet he's getting sick. And he woke up, I guess it was Wednesday, another color. I guess it was Wednesday that he woke up Wednesday morning, and he just felt really bad. He was congested and just coughing and sneezing, and I'm like, oh, this is not good. So he is officially now with a cold, we think. He usually will get a cold once every 2 or 3 years, and he didn't get sick last year hardly at all, I don't think. So usually when he gets a cold, he takes the Alka-Seltzer Plus, which I cannot stand. He takes that, and in about 3 or 4 days, he is fine. You'd never know he was even sick. Very seldom does he have to go to the doctor with just having a cold that goes into something worse. So he is not feeling too good. So this weekend, we are just going to relax, take it easy around the house. Today is Friday for me. I am about done with work for the day. I am going to go with Madison to take Claire for her 4-month appointment at her pediatrician. She was supposed to get shots again today, some more vaccines, and she woke up. She was fine yesterday. I mean, she's been a little congested, but that's about it. And she woke up this morning, and Madison said that she had a fever. She was really fussy. So Madison called the doctor's office and to tell them that, you know, she's not going to be able to get her vaccines, but did they still want to see her? And so the receptionist told Madison, go ahead and bring her in, and then the pediatrician can decide about the shots. Well, Madison's already decided that she's not going to let her have them because Claire, the last 2 times that she has had to get vaccines, she has had a fever that night. And so she didn't want to make the fever worse. So she asked me if I would go with her to the pediatrician. I think she wants me as a sounding board, because if the doctor says that they want to go ahead and do the vaccines anyway, then Madison's going to want me probably to talk to the pediatrician. I've already told Madison, I'm like, this is you. This is your fight. I cannot do this for you because she's your baby, and they're not going to listen to grandma. They're going to listen to you, and if you feel that uncomfortable about having her get vaccines, you need to let them know. You got to stand up for her because she can't stand up for herself, obviously, and they're going to do whatever they want, what they think is right. But even though they're the doctor, you are her mother, and you're going to know better. You have to understand, you don't feel that way unless it's something that, you know, just absolutely has to be done. And so she said she knows, but she just wants me to go there for support. And also if Claire starts to get fussy in the car. So I said, I'll be glad to go. I don't mind going at all, but as I'm not going to, it's not going to be me that's going to tell this doctor anything. I'm just going to go there for your support system. And so she said that was fine. Her husband sometimes is off on Fridays, and sometimes he works. When he does work, he gets double time. Instead of time and a half, he gets double time. And so he said he really needed to work, and I told her I was fine with going. It's not till late afternoon, and I get off at noon anyway. So I'm going to go over there and see Claire, even though she doesn't feel very good. And I told Madison, you know, Dave has a cold, but I'm fine. And Paige is Paige. So she seems to be okay with not having a cold. She's having the same issues she's been having with her sinuses. And so Madison thinks that it's okay because Dave's not running a fever or anything. So I'm going to be doing that this afternoon, and then I'll be coming straight home. I don't plan on going over there this weekend since he will be off. He may have to work tomorrow, depending on how Claire's feeling. If Claire feels bad, he can work on Saturdays, but he doesn't have to. And so if Claire feels bad, he probably won't work, so he can help Madison. But we'll see how it goes. I'm just so thankful that I live close and I have a job to where I can, for the most part, I can help her. There are some things I do have to go on campus for. I have to go my classes on during the week, but on Fridays we are pretty low-key on Fridays at work. We do have some meetings every once in a while, but for the most part we don't. So I am fortunate that I do get to go and help her. And Claire had picture day at school, daycare, for the first time. And they said she did really good. She smiles so pretty. You just have to tell her to smile or say something sweet to her, and she smiles really big. So we'll see if, I'm sure Madison's going to buy something. I told Madison I want to get a 5x7. I prefer 5x7s more than I do 8x10s. And I'll probably do the same thing with Claire that I did with my kids, is that I will get their pictures and I just put them in a scrapbook and put the date on it. And so I'll have it up until she graduates. Of course, if I'm still alive then, we'll see. It's going to be a while. Hopefully I am, but if not, then somebody else can keep up that tradition. So really, that's all that was going on with our home life. You know, nothing. I did take Paige to get a CT scan on her nasal passages and her sinuses. I thought they were going to do a CT scan with contrast, which is what they told me. And I told her, you can't have anything 4 hours before the procedure. They told me that too. And so she didn't have her procedure until 2 o'clock, told me I needed to be there at 1:30. So of course she was starving by the time that, you know, we got there. I got there and then they're like, well, this, I went back there with her and they said, this is only going to take a few minutes. You can just wait in the waiting room. And I said, well, since it's with contrast, are you going to do an IV or are you going to have to give her an injection? And the lady looked at me kind of funny and she said, this isn't with contrast, it's just regular. And so I asked her, I said, well, I was told from her doctor and I was told whenever I had gotten a phone call that it was with contrast. And she said, nope, it's not with contrast. And I said, okay. And she said, well, let me go look and see if I can find another order. Maybe something else came in. And then they told me how much it was. I said, well, I need to make sure about the contrast because as much as this is, and they said they weren't sure how much the insurance was going to pay. It may only pay half. It may not pay anything. It was over $1,000, which, you know, if I have to do it, I'll do it. But I wanted to make sure that she was getting the right thing. I wasn't going to be able to come back and say, well, I got to have another one done. And it's going to be another $1,000 because you didn't do what we were supposed to have done. So she showed me and it said, you know, did not say anything about contrast. So I went ahead and did it. Couldn't get in touch with the doctor's office. And I'm like, well, she needs to go ahead and get this done. There's going to be another 2 weeks before they can get her back in for the CT scan. So I went ahead and did it. And they said, you're probably going to owe about half of this. You can pay now or you can wait. And something told me to wait. So I said, well, if I can wait, I'll just pay after the insurance covers whatever they're going to cover. And so they said that was fine. So then whenever we got home, it didn't take 20 minutes. So then she was starving. I stopped and got her something to eat, something to drink. And we went to the grocery store really quick. And then we came home and I looked in the mail and we had gotten in the mail on Thursday from our insurance stating that they did approve it. I didn't know that it was even up for debate that they weren't going to approve this procedure, and they approved it at 100%. So I don't have to pay anything. So I'm so glad that I didn't pay because then I would have a hard time trying to get the money back from them. At least that's usually what happens. But now, and it also said that it approved both the contrast and it approved the regular CT scan without contrast. So now I wish that I would have spoken to her doctor and not listened to them, and then I would have went ahead and just waited. But if I did not show up, they were going to charge me $300 that would be non-refundable. I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. So I went ahead and did it. So now I've called and left a message for her doctor. They did say the doctor wanted a disc with the CT scan, so I did get the disc, which that's good because now I can take the disc when she goes to a specialist that we are planning on going to. I think it's the 16th, so she has another week for that. Hopefully I will hear from the ENT what the scan says, because the lady that did it said that she didn't read the scans, that that's done later, and that they will get that to the doctor. So now it's one of those hurry up and wait kind of ordeals, which I feel like we have been doing that way too much lately. Now let's see, I need another color. I'm changing colors like crazy, which is fine. It's all just fine. Okay, I need, what is this? Okay. So she did really well. I was very concerned about her getting the contrast because I wasn't sure how they were going to do it. I assumed it was an IV. Madison said it would probably be an IV, and I kind of thought that too, and I thought this is not going to go well, so I didn't mention anything to Paige until we got there. Didn't even tell her what a CT scan looks like. And so she's like, they're going to put me in a donut. I'm like, okay. And I knew I didn't want to say anything until we got there. And she is not claustrophobic or anything. And I told the lady, I said, you know, if she's special needs, if you need me, just come get me. You know, I'm used to that. And unfortunately, the technician that we had gotten was not very friendly. I was not real happy about that, but you know, you can't expect everybody to be friendly with you. She just didn't have much to say. She was very short to Paige. And then she asked Paige once she was about to start, she's like, are you nervous? And so Paige said yes. And the lady, then she got kind of nice and she said, well, I'm just going to put you in here. You're just going to be really still. It's not going to hurt a bit. It's going to make a little bit of noise. And then she was done in like 10 minutes. So I hope they have gotten what they need. Hopefully they did. If not, we'll be going back. But now I feel better because the insurance said it will cover it at 100%, that I don't have to pay any out of pocket because this is a necessity for her. So I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on the specialist to find out if it has anything to do with her thyroid, which we're kind of assuming that it is. It may not be, but we're just now trying to weed everything out since the doctor doesn't know what else to do. ENT doesn't know what else to do, and she is miserable. Bless her heart. I feel so bad. I just feel horrible that she feels as bad as she does. She hasn't even baked cookies since November, and she loves to bake cookies, so I know she doesn't feel good. She's just laying around, and there's not much I can do for her. I just feel horrible. All right, so now we're changing colors again. Okay. This probably wasn't the best one to do. I've been wanting to do this one. I've been wanting to get back to it. It's a lot of fun, but it's not really heavy on the it's not really heavy on the confetti, but it has some confetti. And of course, the section that I'm working on is the one that has quite a bit of confetti. And another thing about this one is that because their stickers are not individually cut, I could cut them myself, which I probably will next time, but I thought, oh, this will just be easy. I will just number my bottles and then I can just look at the schematic and find the number that I need. Nope, not a fan. Unfortunately, I am not a fan of diamond painting like this. I've done it before. I've done it for Art Dot as well because they didn't have any stickers. And I thought, well, this will be just easy. I guess I was just being lazy. So I'm not doing that anymore. Because it's hard you have to find the symbol on your schematic, and you gotta see the number. Of course, I have them in a numerical order on my bottles, but it'd be a lot easier if I didn't have to worry about that. Been listening to a couple of books I did go back and do a reread or a re-listen to one of the in-depth ones that I had. I've listened to all of them, so I have to wait until September until the next one installment comes out. So I did listen to a couple of those just because I was missing Rourke and Eve. If you know, you know, on that series. And then I've been watching Virgin River, trying to get caught up on that series. And I did actually go back and I have Virgin River on Audible, and so I went back and I listened to a couple of my Virgin River books. I've listened to those years and years ago, so I thought it's time to re-listen to that. And then I listened to, there was another one that I just started. I'm not even sure the name of it. It was one of the free ones that comes with Audible. And I thought, well, I'll try this one. And it sounded good, but it was a new author to me. It's also a new narrator. I'm not really a fan of the narrator. And so far, the story has just been meh. So I don't know if I will continue on that one. I need to see what else I can get from the library from Libby. I've got a couple that I am waiting on from the library. Sometimes it just takes time to wait your turn. And that's really about it. We have been watching The Closer on Netflix. We were watching The Closer on, I think it was called Smart TV or Smart something. I think it was Smart TV. And it was on in the evenings, and we had never seen it before, and we like murder mystery stuff and investigations and that kind of thing, and that's what this is. And so we decided, because they were all out of order. We weren't really sure sometimes what was going on because we hadn't seen the one before or whatever, and so we saw it on Netflix, or Paige told us that it just came on Netflix, and so we decided, let's just watch the entire series. So now we binge watched last weekend the first series, and now we're on the middle of the second, I believe. So we'll probably get that finished this weekend and start on the third. I think there's 7 seasons, I believe. So that's been really good. Something just to watch when it's cold. It's starting to get warmer here. It's really cold one day, the next day it's 80. So I don't like this time of year just because of that. You don't ever know what to wear. That's why everybody is so sick, because it's crazy weather. Flowers are starting to bloom, all of the seasonal spring flowers, and we could have a really bad frost next week. And if we do, it's going to kill off all of our flowers. I'm afraid that it will anyway, so I hope not. I hope that we will still have our flowers, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. I'm not going to change out our clothes yet, and because we have downsized, it's hard to find a place to put all of our clothes, so I'm having to store clothes per season, and so I'm not going to take it out yet, because as soon as the world I do, it's going to get really cold again, and then we're going to be back where we started from. I'm going to have to run and get some clothes out of where we're storing. So maybe we're going to start seeing some nicer weather. We can sit outside. I hate being cooped up in the house. Even at night, I don't like being cooped up. And Georgia is part of the daylight saving program. I do not like daylight saving. And it really shouldn't matter just an hour, but it really does. It takes forever to get that hour to where you're used to it, especially in the spring where we're going to lose an hour. And our animals get all confused. It takes them forever because they know exactly what time it is at night. They know when it's time to go to bed. They know when to eat. And everything with them is on a set schedule. We don't set the schedule of our pets. They set it themselves. So I don't know how that's going to go. We shall see. And then Claire is on a schedule. She has made her own little schedule, and it's perfect. And she likes to go to bed between 8:30 and 9. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how she's going to react to this. I wish they would just do away with it. We've heard that so many times with Georgia, but Georgia actually had it come up to vote on, and it was voted down not to change it. I'm like, what are you people? Are you people crazy? Why would you like to have daylight saving? I hate it. I do like the fact that when I come home from work, it does stay lighter longer. But then when I go to work, it's like, ugh, feels like I should have already been there. But so I do like that it does stay lighter longer. That is the one and only really ideal part of daylight saving. It's just a 2:31. So we have to deal with that on Sunday. And then other than that, I don't really think we're doing anything else. Changing our clocks. We are really exciting people, you guys. We're going to change our clocks, and that is going to be the most exciting thing that we're going to do this weekend. But sometimes it is nice not to have anything to do, not to have any plans. I love it. Especially with Dave not feeling well. We're just going to stay in. If it is pretty, I might sit out on our porch, on our back deck, and diamond paint. But it's supposed to be nice and warm, but it's supposed to rain all weekend. So maybe that will get changed, and I will be able to sit outside and just enjoy the nice weather and the peacefulness. So I am looking forward to just doing nothing this weekend. And I will be diamond painting a lot. When I get tired of diamond painting, I'm going to work on my crafting some more. I'm really trying to get organized and be better. I still have boxes that I have not unboxed since we moved here. More than likely because I hadn't done anything with them. Do I really need them? I don't even know what's in it. So that's something that I really need to tackle. But I'm not tackling it this weekend. I decided I'm not going to do it. I am just going to work on, it's upside down. I'm going to work on this diamond painting. I'd like to get this girl, all of her set finished. Once I get past all of this and her leggings, a lot of this is going to be the black background. Ooh, words. Words are hard today. Words are hard. So I am going to work on this one. I'm also going to work on my cross stitch conversion. I'm going to spend a lot of time on that this weekend. I thought about working on just my cross stitch all weekend, but I don't know if I can do that all weekend because I have to think really hard, and I really miss just normal diamond painting if I do it that long. But it would be really nice if I could. It would get me a really good jump start on where I should be right now, and opposed to where I am on my cross stitch conversion. I am doing that for my 100 days project. I've been working on it, but it's just still not looking like much. I need to get to a point where it looks like something and I'll enjoy it even more because I want to see it come to life. Right now it's pretty much a sky and the start of the roof on a cottage. So it's kind of in a boring state right now. But the more I work on it, the more that I will see it come to life, right? So I will be able to look at it and decide what I want to work on it or not. Maybe I'll spend 3 or 4 hours on it, work on this one, go back and forth. I am going to end it here. I think I've gotten quite a bit done. At least I'm on the end of her hair, so that's definitely good. And then once I get all this hair done, and then I should be done with her top today. I can go and work on her leggings. So hopefully the next time that you see this, which will be my mid-month WIP parade, I will have this finished or close to it. Thanks for joining me today. If you like this video, please click on the like button. Also, if you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you here. I have content like this, as well as unboxings, and also from time to time I do have kit ups, kit downs, and then anything diamond painted related. Take care, and until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye.